Hello, I'm Simon Pound, roving reporter for Media 7. Over the past year, I've had a great time getting around to wherever the people and stories are that make media such a rich feast. I reckon that this has to be pretty much the best job out there. It's better than any other I've had, anyway. I mean, this time last year, I was a waiter. Well, I went back to university and pretended to study. The job had its ups and downs, but one thing about being a waiter is that you're always stuck in the same place. Something that's really made me appreciate the way that on Media 7 we've got around the country, from the top to the bottom. We went to Cape Reinga, Kaitaia, Waiheke, Kingsland, Levin, Foxton, Paikakariki, Wellington, Christchurch, Mount Somers, Queenstown, Dunedin. That might just be the best thing about media reporting. It's everywhere. This time 2 years ago, I was working as a barman beneath a strip club. While this may arguably be a more honourable profession than journalism, one thing for certain is that it taught me how to get on with all sorts of characters. Like this assortment flashing on screen now. They all come from one of my first reports that perhaps set a slightly skewed tone for the year. 5:50 a.m, leaving Auckland City on the ferry to Waiheke. We'd got wind of 3 papers on that tiny island. Sources said 3 warring papers. Was Waiheke big enough for the lot of them? This early ferry brings the day's papers, both national and local. Meet Merv Bennett and wife Michelle Bogue, owners of the Waiheke Week. Michelle was National Party president, but it's a far cry from those days this morning. Every early Thursday, she's out to unload and reload the ferries. Her paper's launch is said to have put some local noses out of joint. It isn't even 6:30, and I'm suspecting we've found the front line of the Waiheke media wars. That's rival publisher Liz Waters. She was taking photos of us, filming with her competition. Are the rumours right?
It's like any community, you know. No, there isn't always peace and harmony. And when you've got really strong characters, then yes, you do have people who have very fixed points of view, and there are people on this island who do have fixed points of view.
A diplomatic answer there. There's more to this. But for now, Michelle, like many islanders, is off to the mainland. And I'm off to town, where Michelle's paper battles with Liz's Golf News and The Marketplace. Which do the locals prefer? You're a fan of any of the newspapers particularly?
The Golf News and The Marketplace.
Yeah. What about the Waiheke Week?
No, thank you.
No, why's that?
If I had an outside dunny, I'd cut it up in squares and hang it on a peg.
One of the statements when we started was that it was going to be a fascist right-wing newspaper, and that word got out a bit, and that's a reflection of my wife's political affiliations.
This doesn't look like right-wing conspiracy HQ. What's driving these angry islanders?
We are more pro-development on the island, not just for development's sake, but we need more jobs over here.
Ah, development. Is that it? Has that annoyed old Waiheke? What's your take on the local media scene? Is it busy?
Propaganda, commercial propaganda, that's all, to get you to spend money.
Do you keep up with any of the 3?
No, not at all, no. I used to write letters to the Gulf News when I first came here. That was the #1, but that's gone to pot completely.
The mainstay Golf News. This morning's paparazzi Liz Waters doesn't think it's gone to pot.
People have come in over the years saying that they're going to put us out of business. And we're still here, and we probably always will be still here. We're here for the community, not for any particular interest group.
What does the community vote?
I think it's pretty solidly Labour. Oh, probably Greens.
2 different newspapers, 2 different views. Indeed, 2 different Waihekes. I'd heard former jazz singer George at the Marketplace straddled the centre.
I don't think there's room for 3 newspapers, and we're certainly not going to go under, so...
Would it be fair to say that perhaps you were in the middle?
I would say we are definitely more in the middle. We have no political axe to grind. We report on matters as they happen, as any good journalist would. But as far as that question goes, you really need to go and ask the man on the street what he thinks.
Hey, Ma.
This is Roy in his race car. What does he read?
Waiheke Golf News.
And why is that?
because it has the dirt track results where we race our cars, and the star signs are usually pretty accurate.
What do you reckon about the Waiheke Week?
I think it's fairly friggin' one-eyed, shall we say?
Yeah.
And a little bit, I don't know, it's just not to my personal taste.
What kind of one eye?
Probably the right.
The locals talk straight. Could I get a straight answer on this media war?
Does everyone get along?
I think so. Yeah, it's a small community. You have to.
Yeah, everyone gets along. I mean, there are no rows on the street or anything. Sure.
It's been a 4-year turf war.
Turf war? Maybe that explains this morning's welcoming committee.
You seemed a little bit wary this morning out taking photos of us meeting one of the competitors.
Oh no, it was just anything you see, I tend to carry a camera for, really.
Yeah.
Right. What a funny day. I'm not getting to the bottom of it. Maybe this walk across the beach sums it up. It looked so inviting, but turned out to be all painful, sharp rocks. And as the ferry came in, and this long day was ending, I couldn't help but think, maybe the orange-haired Maggie has the right idea.
You don't read the papers? You don't like the papers?
No, not at all. I don't read. I don't have any contact with media at all. For 20 years, you know. I used to work in television there, so I know what goes on.
I wasn't put off by the orange-haired Maggie, though, and carried on to Kingsland, where I found a bunch of wrestlers making their own TV show. This house is home base and TV production facility for Impact Pro Wrestling, New Zealand's answer to the glitzy, well-funded American leagues. From here, they practice for a live show every month and produce a weekly TV show for Alt TV, IPW, Ignition. Chuck directs operations from his living room. They use basic equipment anyone could get their hands on, and a bit of number 8 wire ingenuity.
I bought a second-hand camera, which was an old Digital 8 thing, and we all decided we were going to make this happen.
The lengths they went to for authenticity were bloody amazing. Caleb, or Johnny King, is a veteran wrestler and was responsible for this guy's bleeding head.
There's 2 ways you can do it. You just use that little bony part and you crack them right on here. You just run it past and like you split it open, blood everywhere. Or you just get the trusty old Basics razor blade and shove it in and go like that. That's the biggest misconception, that we use like tomato sauce.
What's your day job?
I sell pet supplies in supermarkets. Hey.
I loved those wrestlers and the invite into their secret world. There were other hidden worlds too. Out south Auckland, near the Ardmore Aerodrome, you'll find this airplane hangar-sized, purpose-built facility. What's it for? Dogs! I covered the vibrant specialist dog media and met top dog photographer Leo Rolfe, who has a special technique to get that perfect shot.
Ever take photos of animals or children, and we seem to do both.
Is there a secret to dog photography?
There is, but the secret is my secret.
Ah, professional confidentiality. But I think we've found it all the same.
We have Herbert.
Meet Herbert, the squeaky soft toy. And watch. It seems the secret technique is to get the dog looking up and out. See? Well, we rumbled that secret. And down south, I met the top bloke, Peter King, record maker. We're down near Ashburton, in the shadow of quiet, stately Mount Somers, to bring you a story of a man saving an old tradition. They said vinyl was dead, but Peter King is keeping records alive.
About 20-something years ago, I sort of thought, oh, well, I'll have a go and see if we can actually make one record, you know. And then 2 years later, I finally made a record, but it was quite a difficult thing to do.
A man with unique ingenuity that helped him make his records and improvise novel heating solutions around the house. The roof is made from the same stuff as his records, polyvinyl acetate. And it's an entertainer's dream house. A pool, a spa, a bar, and a unique heating solution.
Well, just get the barbecues going on a medium heat and put the big fans on, and it blows huge amount of air into the area.
This same ingenuity saw Peter double his record production. He started with 2 old BBC record cutters, then built 2 more from scratch. How to Make a Record Part 2. Flip record, cut audio, worm out, label, bag, and it's ready to send. Because demand for the records comes from all over the world.
We've had people from Detroit, the Spanish, California, France, country and western from Texas, rap music from New York and from London. Yeah, just about every country except I don't think we've made a record for China and I don't think we've made a record for Fiji.
Demand outstrips supply, but Peter doesn't want to expand again. He's busy enough as it is.
It'll just quietly trickle along. There's no big rush. Yeah. There we go, guys. There's your record to take away.
Thank you. And we leave, saying thanks to Peter King, one of the nicest blokes we've met.
The people I've met have been great and so welcoming. I wonder if this is because media is quite an intimate and connecting thing. I mean, we consume it in our very private spaces, our living rooms and our bedrooms. And when I report on specialist media, like dog photography for dog lovers, then these people are giving me an insight into their secret worlds. So it's an honour, really, and I'd say that media reporting is an even better job than bartending. Not that I've forgotten the importance of the occasional drink. After the break, I'll be back with some more serious stories and silly jobs. Cheers!